In public safety, we talk a lot about having the data, but we almost never talk about who controls it, who decides who sees it, and what happens when it actually matters. Because when a life is on the line, ownership is not a policy question anymore. It's a time problem. And that's coming up next on TiPS, Today in Public Safety.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories in public safety news. Here's your host, Fletch, with today's tips.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety. This is Fletch. I'm a NENA certified ENP, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I bring you the latest, most informative, and sometimes controversial takes on emergency communications. Today we're going to step into another topic that makes people a little uncomfortable because it lives right at the intersection of technology, privacy, liability, and life safety. Now the question is simple. Who owns the data when it saves a life? But the answer is anything but simple. The illusion of ownership. Okay, let's start off with the assumption that most people make. If it's my system, then it's my data. Yeah, sure, that sounds reasonable. So when a business installs cameras, access control, environmental sensors, and location systems, they think they own it. But in an emergency, that assumption starts to break down. Because now the real question becomes who needs the data versus who owns the data. And those are not the same thing. Time changes everything. In normal operations, data is protected, access is controlled, and policies are typically enforced. But the problem is emergencies don't care about policy timing. They have a tendency of compressing everything. So what would normally take a request, an approval, and an authorization now needs to happen in seconds. And this is where systems fail because they were designed for control and not for immediate conditional release. The real-world scenario. So let me walk you through this one. There's an emergency inside a large enterprise building. Now, the organization has got live video, badge access logs, floor plans, and occupancy data. Public safety needs, well, all of it. And they need it immediately. But instead, what happens? Legal gets involved, IT starts to get cautious, security hesitates, and policies get referenced. And as for time, it gets lost. And that delay is the gap between data existing and data being usable. The risk equation. Here's the tension. On one side, you have privacy, liability, and data protection. But on the other side, you've got life safety, situational awareness, and time-critical decisions. Now, most organizations will default to don't release it unless we're sure. But inside of public safety, delay is risk. So the real question becomes, what's your default state during an emergency? Designing for the moment that matters. So this is where design matters. Not just technology design, but also policy design. You need systems that are able to shift from restricted to accessible instantly, provide only what's needed, and log and audit everything. And above all, you've got to protect data both before and after the event. But when it comes to during the event, life safety has to take priority. And that's not reckless, that's intentional design. Reality check. So here's the reality. If your data can't be shared when it matters most, you don't have a data problem, you have a design problem. Because the value in the data is not by storing it, it's in using it. And using it at the exact moment where it's needed. The bottom line. Ownership is a policy and access is a capability. And in an emergency, capability beats policy every single time. If your system makes it hard to do the right thing quickly, then it's working against you. Hey, it's Fletch. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you learned something new. Remember to catch all of my previous episodes of TiPS, Today in Public Safety, published every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on most social media platforms and streaming 24/7 at 911tips.com. My blogs are located at fletch.tv and my personal website is at fletch911.com. Remember to like and subscribe. It really helps out the algorithms. And if you're in public safety, thanks for what you do every single day. We'll catch you next time. Take care.
You've been listening to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Hosted by Fletch and available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Catch past episodes on 911tips.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember to join us each week for the latest on NG 911. I am Spider Harrison, the official 911 voiceover dude. Catch me on Sirius XM on various channels, including 90s on 9, the 10 spot, and on the Weekend Countdown on Hits 1. Or don't regret it for the rest of your life. Either way, I'm good.